The RBA has kept rates on hold, a brief respite for millions of Australian mortgage holders, and don't forget the small businesses who have loans. Joining us live now in Sydney is the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. PM, good morning to you. Thank you for your time as always. So, as you know,
Morning,
people are bleeding cash. Are we now at or close to the peak of financial pain?
Well, people are doing it tough, Pete. We know that, and my government's working each and every day to make a difference. We welcome yesterday's decision by the Reserve Bank. We have a two-speed economy where some people are doing it really tough at the moment, but there are also some good signs. 465,000 jobs created in our first year, so record jobs growth, lower inflation and a higher surplus are all good economic indicators, but we know that that's not reflected in how so many families are feeling today, but they will welcome yesterday's decision and will continue to work each and every day to make a difference.
PM, Sky sources have revealed Jenny Wilkinson is the front runner to be the next RBA governor. Is she your pick?
I'll make those decisions around the cabinet table, Pete, with due respect. Jenny Wilkinson is doing a fantastic job as the Secretary of the Department of Finance. She was appointed by my government. Formerly, she was the DepSec at Treasury. And of course, her and Stephen Kennedy as Secretary of Treasury, they're both outstanding public servants. There are a range of people who will be under consideration, including, of course, the Governor himself of the Reserve Bank.
But his time is coming to an end, yes?
We'll make those decisions at an appropriate time, and we'll do them properly and in an orderly way. That's the way my government functions. It's an adult government that makes decisions after proper processes are in place, and we'll make those decisions at an appropriate time.
Linda Burney, who outlined 4 key areas of the voice today, PM: health, education, jobs and housing. But can the body still advise on areas outside those 4 points?
Look, Pete, if you've got a life expectancy gap of 8 years between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australia, when Indigenous Australians are twice as likely to commit suicide as non-Indigenous Australians, when a young Indigenous male is more likely to go to jail than to go to university, that of course will be the focus of the voice. And the idea that the voice, for example, will give advice to the Reserve Bank on interest rates when the Reserve Bank don't seek advice from the Prime Minister of the day, some of those arguments are just not right. You know that that's the case. And I think that people will focus as they approach this referendum on what really matters. And what really matters to Indigenous Australians is closing the gap. And that's what Linda Burney will be confirming, as she has each and every day of this process.
Peter Dutton accused some of Australia's biggest companies of not having a significant backbone for supporting the voice. It's done to appease shareholders and the Twitter sphere, he said. What are your thoughts on those comments?
Peter Dutton doesn't like business, does he? He's always out there prepared to criticise the business community. Business, of course, like faith leaders, like sporting groups, like non-government organisations who've examined the proposal to recognise Indigenous Australians and listen to them on matters that affect them, have come to a pretty common position, which is support for a yes vote in the referendum.
Will you be announcing more funding for Ukraine at the NATO summit next week?
We'll continue to provide whatever support we can when we can. We took advice about appropriate support. We provided another $110 million of support for Ukraine in the announcement that we made just over a week ago. But we'll continue to provide support for Ukraine for as long as it's needed. This is an important struggle for the rule of law, for international order, for the respect of national sovereignty. And we stand with the people of Ukraine. We'll continue to do so for as long as it takes, as will the rest of the democratic world.
As for an announcement next week?
we'll continue to stand with the people of Ukraine. I hope to have another meeting with President Zelensky next week. Australia supports Ukraine, as does the rest of the democratic world. I've been invited to go to NATO along with what's known as the Asia-Pacific Four. Australia, Japan, Korea and New Zealand will be presenting a forum as part of the NATO summit next week, and I'll be travelling to Vilnius over the weekend, as well as stopping shortly in Berlin on the way.
Have you spoken to Rishi Sunak on the phone since the second test wrapped up?
No, we have engaged with some good banter.
Oh, yeah?
We have a good relationship.
What does that mean?
We have a good relationship. We engage in banter. And Rishi Sunak, I look forward to catching up with him next week, and I'll remind him next week that the nuns at St Joseph's Camperdown, when I was at primary school, taught me, as they teach every Australian youngster, keep your bat in your crease, stay in your crease. And it's fantastic that Australia are leading 2-0 in both the women's and, of course, also the men's.
Yes.
And it was a great victory there at Lord's this week.
I have to tell you, PM, I heard there was a loud cheer in our newsroom just then when you said keep the bat in the crease. Everyone is clapping and agreeing with you on that point.
Well, it's not hard, is it?
It's not
hard.
No, I was told in under-9s cricket. Under-9s, keep your bat in your crease.
Exactly, under-9s. Johnny Bairstow knew as well, because he tried to run out Marnus Labuschagne just a couple of days before he wandered off away from his crease. Well, the Aussies have done exceptionally well, playing away from home, harsh conditions, and to lead 2-0. I think Patrick Cummins is just such an outstanding captain, and all Australians are proud of their men's team, and they're proud of Elisa Healy and the women's team as well.
Agreed. Anthony Albanese, appreciate your time this morning. We'll talk to you soon.
Good on you.